Do you know Anna Norheim?
What?
She was my mother.
My family has kind of a dark past. My aunt, she slit her wrists in a bathtub. My older sister disappeared when I was 4.
There's evil there. Don't go there. You can't trust those people. Something is wrong.
Leave. I gotta be honest with you guys. I had yet another really busy week and I couldn't get to the theaters again. It's frustrating me too, don't worry. So I found this on Shudder and decided, why not? It wouldn't be the first time I'd find a hidden gem in a throwaway movie pick. I did no research and only saw the vague plot summary and figured, why not? Maybe I'd have a fantastic film on my hands that nobody's seen, like Birth Rebirth or Lingering or Dear Madam or so many other ones that I've reviewed on this channel that I think deserve more love and affection. Unfortunately though, this film is nowhere near those and is just a fairly drab, boring scroll through Norway, so bear with me while I rant for a few minutes about this thing because Jesus. It's predictable and at worst just boring thriller fare. Everything about this movie is just okay. It's not bad per se, but it's not anything in this is good or great. Everything is just decent and okay at best. The acting is fine, the cinematography and visuals are just okay, nothing interesting there whatsoever. And the worst part of this movie is the story. Oh my god, this plot is so well worn and already trodden by so many other movies of the exact same genre. Even the few plot twists in this are incredibly easy to predict if you've watched any film remotely similar to this premise, even though the summary kind of lies in its premise and it ends up being something completely different than what you'd expect from just the summary plot alone, which so interesting but also very stupid and kind of borders on false advertising, I think. Let me get into that. It's just an incredibly mediocre plot that doesn't bring anything unique whatsoever to it, aside from maybe the setting, as this is a Norwegian film that is mostly in English too, so I guess there's that, but it does take place in Norway, so some nice visuals here or there because Norway. I think this movie was originally broadcast on TV as well, as it has a TVMA rating, which is a little weird if you get a theatrical movie, but I don't know how Norwegian films work. I don't know, but it has a TVMA, so that means there won't be much in terms of gore or on-screen violence or graphic material that you wouldn't find in a TV show. Honestly, this film really should have leaned into that graphic stuff. But anyway, what is this plot and why is it lying to you? Leave follows a young woman named Hunter from America, trying to track down her origins after being abandoned as a baby in a cemetery, wrapped in a cloth covered in satanic symbols. As she travels to Norway to find her family and investigate the disappearance and potential death of her parents, a strange spirit appears to follow her, telling her to, you guessed it, leave. Now, doesn't that sound just on the surface like a spooky ghost story, mystery, maybe dealing with some occult stuff, maybe some antichrist or demon kind of imagery or something going on? Nope, not in the slightest. This film is a standard thriller with slight supernatural elements that are really just the ghost showing up randomly. The satanic symbols aspect is explained away and dropped relatively quickly as non-important background information. The ghost does look creepy when it shows up, and it does have a few scenes stalking Hunter around as she investigates, but it never really does anything scary at all besides kind of just appearing, and does absolutely nothing threatening whatsoever besides telling her to repeatedly leave, which, oh my god, is an extremely obvious plot point as to why she keeps saying this word to her that I predicted correctly immediately. So whatever your first idea is, it's probably correct. Oh my god, this story is just so boring and it has no idea what to do with it. It's so uninteresting. Every potentially interesting plot point is either explained really early or dropped entirely. You know immediately who the bad guys are the moment they show up on screen. There's even a smarmy college bro that acts as a foil to Hunter, and oh man, his entire character sucks. He's so paper thinly wrote. He's antagonistic and rude, openly complains about not getting enough money from inheritance, and then later tries to be a good guy to Hunter for no real reason. Like, are you for real, girl? You're gonna believe that? He's the most obviously evil and probably sexually violent rich white college bro I've ever seen in a movie. He is the epitome of stereotype. You look up rich asshole white boy in the dictionary and it's a picture of this dude's face. It is so painfully obvious. Everything from his mannerisms to his ungodly coiffed hair that just screams rich boy psychopath. Oh my god. And he's boring. He's so boring. Usually characters like that are fun to watch. Look at American Psycho. He just does everything to either piss off the viewer or get in the way of all the characters, and oh, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. There's no reason for him to be in the movie, to just add another antagonist and to add an obstacle for Hunter to deal with later. It's so goddamn lazy and stupid. Jesus. We don't need characters this obvious. Have some nuance, I am begging you. The only characters with any shred of nuance outside of one-note niceties or bewilderment at their situation is Ellen Dorit Peterson as Cecilia and Ragnhild Gulbrandsen as Lillian. I apologize if I mispronounce those names, as they have barely any contribution to the film at all, plot-wise, outside of exposition dumps, which is such a pain in the ass. They're the most interesting characters and they're only there to fucking talk. I hate it. Even at the end, they just kind of disappear from the plot as the story sees them as unimportant. They could have been given so much more to do if the plot had just allowed it. Oh my god, it's frustrating. Alicia von Rittberg is fine as Hunter. She brings a believable air to the character, but also a certain naivete that tends to overstay its welcome, unfortunately. She's a fine actress, and I'd love to see her in something much more challenging, just to get a sense of her acting chops, because I do not think there was anything remotely difficult for her to do in here. The writing here just doesn't contribute to her acting in the slightest. She has a couple struggles, a breakdown here or there, but nothing really challenging to do outside of screaming every so often. And again, that naivete is just really, really frustrating. That's on the writer, though. I'm sorry, but what conventionally attractive white girl traveling abroad for the first time would just outright admit to people she just met that she's traveling alone, and no one that would care knows that she left the States? She just straight up says this within 5 minutes of meeting a man she thinks could be her grandfather. Are you serious? Even before that, she agrees to stay at a stranger's house for the night despite having a hotel. Why would you do that? She's supposed to be smart and intuitive, which is how she found out where to go in general. God, I feel like at least one of these red flags would slow her down even a little bit, or get her questioning if things are really on the up and up, but nope, it takes a ghost to do that. She even straight up ignores characters telling her that these people she met are weird and potentially dangerous. But I guess it's even weirder that none of those characters bother to keep her company. It's like nobody has heard of safety in numbers in this movie. At one point, she even abandons a person she was running with just to go attack a dude on her own. Like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Just go. What? Plus, wouldn't it be smart to have someone around her who speaks Norwegian? Hunter doesn't, and the characters will actively switch to it around her to talk behind her back. Like, come on, this girl is so stupid. It's so frustrating when characters do inane things just because the plot demands it and not because it matches their character. For that, I have to blame the writer, like I said, Thomas Moldestad. Dude has 3 other writing credits under his name and man, I'm sorry. You need to try a little harder, bud. None of them really have great reviews on IMDb, and the first two are from almost 2 decades ago, but still, man, oh boy. The director, Alex Herron, did a decent enough job, though. This is his directorial debut, actually, having been doing what looks like Tao Cruz music videos before. His IMDb says he does a lot of music videos, so maybe these are just the ones that are first listed. Weird. He just needs to cement his own style, I think. The building blocks are there in this movie for visually interesting stuff, but they just need a bit of fleshing out. Hopefully he gets a bit more risky and creative with his later films. He only has one other film out right now called Dark Windows, which seems like a pretty standard slasher flick from the summary I read. Maybe I'll check it out eventually. I don't know. I'm not really interested right now. Lastly, I just can't really recommend this film to anyone at all. The plot is bare bones, it's slow and boring at best. It doesn't even have anything interesting to relegate it to background party movie. It's just there. Maybe if you had nothing better to watch and haven't seen anything remotely similar to this actual plot, you might get some enjoyment. But as it stands, it's a very, very dull, predictable ride that you are probably better off leaving in the watch list. Man, even the title sucks. There's plot relevance for it being called Leave with the ghost saying it and everything, but still, such a boring and forgettable title. Like, come on. Either way, this film is just not worth your time. Skip it, watch a summary online somewhere or read one. I don't care. It's not worth it. Ultimately, Leave gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. Yeah, I know. I'm probably getting back into theaters either this week or next week. I'm not sure. I'm definitely seeing Quiet Place Day 1 in theaters. I want to see Inside Out 2. I've heard it's fantastic. I don't know. I guess we'll see. There's a whole bunch of films out that I just want to see, and ones that I've missed that I'm gonna have to wait for them to come on streaming. Like, I know I saw the TV Glow is gonna be on Shudder eventually. I need to look up when, but I know it's coming there eventually, and I'll check it out when it does. Kind of like the same thing that Late Night with the Devil did, which I reviewed. You should see my thoughts on that one over here. I'm so tired. I just want a good, scary movie. And this was so bad. It was so boring. It's not the worst horror film I've ever seen. Easily not the worst. I've seen some absolute trash before, but oh my god, so frustrating. I swear, some of these writers just get so wrapped up in their own heads and think that it's fantastic, or just rely on the director to make things better, and I'm sorry, that's not how movies work. If you're going to write something, it needs to be engaging, it needs to have nuance. I say that a lot in these reviews, but nuance is incredibly important. You can't just spell out obvious metaphors and obvious things like this are just so... I hate it. I hate it. Have some more fun with it. Go wild. You're writing something. Get creative. And this movie isn't creative at all. It's like a mix of all these other movies of the exact same genre over and over and over again. And this one has nothing unique besides being set in Norway. Fucking Norway. Anyway, did you guys see this movie? What did you think? Are you gonna bother watching this movie? I wouldn't blame you for not watching it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. After that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a video. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See you guys.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo. The fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost soul alone. And I'm just a ghost in your stereo.